Hello and welcome along to Diecast Rest Ho Ho Ho's. If you hadn't yet guessed, it's a festive edition, with Christmas just 2 days away at the point of release. As such, I've decided to make myself an early Christmas present. Those of you who have been following the channel for a while will know I customised one of these Lone Star Flyer Vauxhall Firenzas for my dad ahead of Christmas 2021. Having given that to him, I really wanted one of these rare castings for myself. So I am going to restore this one to factory spec in a colour of my choosing, similar to this metallic red. As far as the original Lone Star colours went, this was by far the most vivid and eye-catching for me. This is only the second time I've revisited a casting I've already completed on camera. The first being a redo of my very first low mass ambulance restoration on the first anniversary of the channel. Where that video was a comparison of my progression over the span of a year, this will almost be the opposite. That's because I spent a lot of time detailing my dad's Firenza to replicate the real car that he had. This will feature no extra trim, just a simple respray and fitment of a reproduction bonnet. If you haven't yet seen that custom effort, do go and check it out. I'll leave a link here. I also won't repeat myself with the history of the Firenza or the FLYERS model. That was all covered in that video. While I don't mind this metallic brown, I just didn't feel it suited the casting as well as the fiery metallic red. The only difference between mine and that earlier picture will be the clear instead of blue windscreen. The bonnets on these FLYERS Firenzas are so often missing. Luckily, due to the popularity of the casting, these are reproduced. I will leave a link to the source in the description. I have to use my needle nose pliers to clamp the bonnet into its restraints. It has been a busy year for the channel. I've had some popular videos, which has made a bit of a change considering YouTube's hit and miss algorithms. The biggest surprise for me was the popularity of the Majorette Oldsmobile Amiga restoration. I'd say it was one of my most, if not the most successful restorations of mine this year. Everything seemed to go just right, especially the colour match. But what shocked me was the unexpected viewership of the video, considering it isn't the most inspiring of castings or real cars. Another restoration of note that I particularly enjoyed was last week's Albion Chieftain. That hasn't released yet at the time of recording this voiceover, so I can't comment on how well, or how poorly, it performed. That could just be a touch of recency bias though. I've had some good custom projects on the go this year, but I'm struggling to choose a favourite. The 205 T16 using the decals from Vauxhall from scratch Diecast is definitely up there, as is the Mercedes C111 and the Countach. Plus, I've also completed some really interesting commission work this year, my favourite of which has to be Kyle's Ferrari Testarossa Custom. That's almost certainly another I need to be revisiting to create for myself. Tell me which restorations or customs have been your favourites from this year, or any year in fact, in the comments section. I always read your comments and leave a little like, and it will be great to get some honest feedback. Even better, tell me my worst ones and be scathing. It's also a good opportunity to offer up my services for commission pieces. While I do love doing this hobby, it's always nice to create a personal project for somebody else. Besides, I'm running out of room to store all of my own work. If you are at all interested in a commission piece, do drop me a line. We can have a chat via email to work through all of your needs and wants. My email address is in the description. Now, with the simplicity of these Lone Star FLYERS castings with reference to their flathead screw fitments, I can only assume that forgeries of rarer examples or colour combinations is rife. Clearly there isn't the same increase in value for combinations such as certain interior or wheel colours against certain body shades, like you would have with Matchbox. But take this Firenza for instance. There are some colours that are rarer and command a premium. The white-bodied car could come with a budget rent-a-car sticker that attached to the roof. Prices for these are higher. Personally, I'd be wary of looking to purchase any diecast that is supposedly a rare variation, but that's just me. Others I'm sure would love that trophy piece. I'd always have that nagging feeling I'd been ripped off, I think. I'm quite pleased with how my metallic red looks. It's not quite the same as the original look though. If I were to do it again, I'd opt to use the clear red over a silver base. However, I do really like Tamiya's pure metallic red. I've tried to touch up the FLYERS 5-spoke wheels here, but I needed to use some black to tone it back down again. The only trim detailing factory Firenzas got was silver to the rear registration plate, which simply reads Firenza. Now we are approaching the final stages of my festive Firenza rebuild. Sorry it's not a Santa's sleigh restoration or a Coca-Cola truck custom, but they are all a bit contrived. I'd much rather it be business as usual no matter the time of year or occasion. That red on green does look particularly Christmassy though. Nope, too gimmicky for me. I'll break out into a Christmas carol if we're not careful. So with the freshened up windscreen in situ, the washed interior is placed neatly inside. Over that goes the silver base. Then the last thing to do is to tighten that flathead screw and try not to make any Christmas puns. So this is how my Lone Star FLYERS Vauxhall Firenza looked. You'll agree this casting needed lightening up. What was left of the paint was a bit flaky. A real cause for concern was the missing bonnet, but I did source a reproduction, it's no problem. This casting is a bit sentimental for me, considering it was my dad's favourite car he owned, so I had to get one for myself. Okay, that's a wrap on the puns. Here's how the casting now looks. I've refreshed this Firenza in a fiery Tamiya pure metallic red, and I am more than happy to add this to my personal collection as an early Christmas gift to myself. I haven't handed it all the trimmings of trim. I've decided to keep it original to Lone Star's specifications. But do leave your thoughts on this restoration in the comments, and don't forget to tell me your favourite Diecast Restos moments from 2022. I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, whether you celebrate or not. Thank you for coming along on this ride with me. But the year isn't over yet, just one more for 2022 to follow on Friday the 30th. It's certainly an interesting one, I'll let on that much. Previews are available to Patreon supporters, so be sure to join up and help support the channel at the same time. Please be sure to leave a like, as that helps promote the video visibility. And finally, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest from me. But all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Merry Christmas!